Hello, Star Wars unboxing fans, and welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I am your host, Darth Tuba, and sorry for the angular villain scene from classic Adam West Batman motif going on here. I'm not sure why I'm angled like that, but then I looked at it and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to keep it because it's quirky and weird, and let's do that. So it's all good. All right, so today for unboxing, we have a couple of mishmash items. We have some follow-up of a recent event I attended, the Heroes and Villains Fest, and things that were kind of purchased on the way to those. We have our Black Series Yoda archive, and I do believe that this was not something I was able to pick up. So I looked through my collection and I wasn't able to find it. So we will be doing an unboxing with that. We have, and then from an old Force Awakens thing, we have the Unkar's Thug Brute Unkar Brute Unkar's Brute Unkar. Okay, so basically they're thugs and a BB-8 3-pack, okay, that we're going to unbox. And we have this from Solo. We have the Chewbacca and Han Solo from Mimban when they got into their little fist fight. And while this is not really an unboxing, I do want to just quickly again show you. I'll get some close-ups of these. This was done by a vendor in the Heroes and Villains Fest, and they were Yoda and Chewbacca. He had a whole bunch of kind of, I guess he said they were 3 times the size Lego figures, so I'm assuming he did this with some type of a 3D printer. I really enjoyed them. I really thought that they were cool. I liked the way they looked, and I just think that these are my favorite Lego-like characters, Yoda and Chewbacca. So I just thought that they were cool, and I enjoyed the paint scheme and everything else. I just thought they were neat, and the guy had a whole bunch of other, custom Legos, that kind of thing, Lego minifigs, custom Lego minifigs. So I was appreciative of that. I did a little bit of filming of his booth, and he was cool with that. He didn't want to go too long, but he was cool with that. So thank you so much to that gentleman. And these are the 2 that I was so excited about, and they will find a place promptly right up here on our kind of knick-knack shelf, which I always like to put some of the individual items. Gosh, I hope we never have an earthquake, because those will come crashing down, and who knows. All right, so in terms of our unboxing here, let's kind of go oldest to newest. Now, technically speaking, this is a re-release, so that would be the newest. So we'll start with our Force Awakens. And as I've mentioned in some of my shelf talks, I am going to be unboxing a lot of these simply because the, taking up space. This is actually I'm not exactly sure what this piece is. It's kind of interesting. We have what looks like some type of a cannon, I guess. Yeah, it looks like a cannon. Yeah, that's what it is. It might actually be a piece of another thing, but wait a minute, I know what it is. I think I know exactly what it is. This is kind of like it's supposed to be like a launching cannon. All right, this is cool. Okay, you at some point you press a button. All right, where is the button? Button. Who's got the button? I'll figure it out later. Okay, and it has a little net attached to it. And you're supposed to be able to attach it and grab whatever your prey is. And then we have our 2 thugs. Well, actually, we have 1 thug and 1 Jakku scavenger. I believe the scavenger is like Tito, who was riding that big kind of lumpy thing, and he. I think he was the one riding it. I'm trying to see if his mask comes off. Nope, his mask does not come off. Only his head comes off. So that's weird. All right, but he does get the big spear. And again, some of these, it's so interesting. And I remember this from back in the day. You get the characters, and from a kid's standpoint, you look at things like Luke and Han and Chewie and the droids and Vader, and those are like your main characters. And then you have everything else. You have the Cantina aliens, you have the Cloud Car pilot, the Bespin guards, and they're like where the imagination really took wild, because I used to love some of those characters, and I would actually make the main characters that kind of worked with the main characters. I had a hard time getting my main characters like Luke and Han out of themselves, out of what they are normally used to doing. Other kids could do that, but for me, no. I would make up stories about the ones that I hadn't seen on the movie screen, or if they just had a passing shot, and I'd be like, well, what's their story? So I would do the same thing with these characters, although they're both kind of bad characters. But who knows? You can kind of change it around. Of course, BB-8 is just a standstill kind of thing with a flat bottom, so he doesn't do much. He does have a little kind of cool movement. His head spins and his dome kind of moves up and down, left and right, so that's kind of cool. It gives him a little accurate kind of setup with that. Now the only thing I don't know is who holds this thing, man. This thing is crazy big, so that's kind of weird, but we'll figure something out. So that's kind of cool. Come on, stay up, BB-8. There we go. So a nice little setup there. Now I just want to make sure I didn't miss something here. Some of these things, it doesn't look like this was part of a piece that you would add to other things. It doesn't look like it has any way to attach to anything else. So I just think it's meant to be kind of like a big, huge cannon that somebody would kind of hold on to. So that's okay. That's cool. I just don't know how to launch I want to launch it. How do I launch it? It doesn't tell me. That's all right. So it's a cool thing. Wish I could figure out how to get the gun thing to work. I'm sure it's something simple that I'm missing. So, all right. Next up, we have from Solo. Again, this is some more like later released items that I had trouble getting. So I had to find things on eBay. It's so hard. It's such a hard thing to it's such a hard game to play when it comes to action figures for movie releases. Like, do you just buy everything when they first come out, or do you play the waiting game and wait for things to go out on sale? And I understand that. I definitely do, but I also understand that there are people out there, vendors especially, that kind of look for the rarities, look for the ones like if a box has 3 of these, 3 of these, 3 of these, and only 1 of these, they're going to buy as many of those 1 of these as possible and then sell them at an inflated price. And again, I get it. I understand it. I don't love it, but I do understand it. And I understand these guys are just trying to make a living, and I don't approve of it because it feels like they're kind of cheating their way. They're kind of cheating the system a little bit. But at the same time, when you're dealing with this, sorry for the noise, hold on. When you're dealing with this kind of thing, you're also dealing with the fact that, hey, none of this stuff really none of this stuff is meant to be of any high value. You're not trading stocks. You're not collecting gold or diamonds. They're toys, and it's okay to have toys. So we have our muddied up Han Solo and our muddied up Chewbacca. Poor Chewie. Let's see what he says here.
Let's get this done. I'm on a schedule. I've got to find a way out of here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I've got to find a way out of here. I could use some backup.
Pretty cool. And then, of course, Chewie. Hey, he's got more to say than Han does. No gunshots with his force. You just have... Okay. I get you. All right, so here we've got what looks like some type of device that is looks like some kind of a cannon, which is great, except I don't know how to make it work. Or actually, I just noticed it doesn't even have a launch mechanism on it, which I think is interesting. And this works, so that's cool. And then I guess you just run it through here like that, and there you go. It's pretty straight out. Oops, he said too soon. There you go. You have a little gank. Now, I don't know if this makes any. No. All right, so you've got your little cannon, a little protector on it. Okay, and you got, oh, poor Han with his muddy boots and his muddy body and his muddy self. It's crazy. But, it's interesting. They've added some to articulation. His wrists move. So, I don't know if his wrist comes off, which apparently is not supposed to happen. That is not for you. That is Luke's shtick. You'll meet him in a couple of decades or years or whatever. So we'll just kind of he does come with a little chain. All right, so we'll put him there, and we got Chewie, also a little chain. Okay, so we can do that as well. I think either one of them can run the cannon. So that's kind of cool. All right. I love this movie. I love it so much. I know there's a lot of talk about make Solo 2 happen, but I don't see that as a viable truth. Maybe if the couple of live action series like The Mandalorian and this Cassian Andor live thing, if they're really successful and they get a lot of hits, I think we can see that Obi-Wan spinoff in the form of a series, or maybe get Solo 2, at least parts of Solo 2. I mean, somebody was mentioning that on the internet that they would love to see. Forget about we know where Han and Chewie end up after that. We got the movie where they meet and how he won the thing from Lando. I mean, that could end there. We don't need further adventures with them until we see them again in the original movies. But the the Crimson Dawn and the whole Darth Maul and Kira and that stuff, there's a story to be told there, so let's see what we can do there. There's also a story to be told with Beckett and all his crew and some of the stuff that they did leading up to Solo. There are stories there, so I would love to see some one-offs happen. Okay, last but not least, we got Yoda. We got the Black Inch. This is a great thing that Hasbro did. They re-released some of the more harder to get figures in a format that was kind of what they called archival, which I thought was awesome and made perfect sense. And I am thrilled that they had Yoda. I think I don't know if it says on the back. It doesn't say what other ones they came with, but I was very thrilled that Yoda was included. So he comes with a lightsaber and he comes with his cane. Now, technically speaking, if this is Empire Strikes Back Yoda, you never saw him wield his lightsaber. You might have seen him hold it, or at least have it on his belt, but he never wielded it, but that's okay. And the only thing I will say that's a little bit disappointing, and it's a minor thing, but I actually miss having the box that you would put the figure in from the original Black Series, because if I had a situation that warranted, like Yoda doesn't really need any multiple limbs or anything like that, but if there's another figure that does need, have different, open palm, closed palm, that kind of thing, different head pieces or whatever, it's nice to have a place to a box to put the spare pieces in and store. This is a carded bubble figure. Maybe they'll only release figures that are singular figures that don't have multiple hands or arms or anything. So maybe that'll solve the problem. In the case of Yoda, there was nothing else to this other than the figure, the cane, and the lightsaber. So that's pretty cool. All right, so there you go. That will do it. And in fact, what I'm going to do right here, even though this is not technically correct, I'm going to put Chewie up here on this playset. And I'm going to take Han Solo and his cannon, and I'm going to put them up here as well. I'll probably end up moving these guys over to the other playset, but it'd be cool to do. And just keep them there for now, and we'll see how that goes. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Darth Tuba's Batman villain version of the Star Wars Unboxing Show. Sorry again for the leaning. Be sure to check out all my videos, like and subscribe, hit the notification button, check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba, but make sure you go to the YouTube link and click on the link and watch the video. I have no advertisements on there, so you don't lose anything just to watch the video. Check me out on Facebook at Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. Email me, leave comments if you have any questions or things you want to see done. I have started looking into some of my bookshelf for Shelf Talk, and I'm going to continue on that from time to time as well. So we can look forward to that, plus an upcoming Disney trip and a few other high-end items coming in the mail. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.